Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Hey everybody, how you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black at Night Show. It is Monday. It is time to get it cracking. How was your weekend? How was your weekend? How was your weekend? How was your weekend? Man, oh man, I'm trying to tell you guys, it is crazy. I've been over here banging my head for the last couple hours trying to get things running because we really need to do a show. I want to give a shout out to everybody who's been contributing to the GoFundMe to get a new PC and some new system upgrades here at the Tim Black at Night Studios, Tim Black Show Studios. I appreciate you. I really do. I really do. Shout out to No More Donations, who once again went against his No More Donations pledge and decided to help out the show. Man, thank you so much, brother. You and Bree have been instrumental in getting me one step, a couple more steps closer. So I want to give special respect to you, Uli, everyone who's given to the show, Kelly, so many people, man. And all of you keep this show going. Ramek, Uncle Ron, everybody, all of you guys. My people on Periscope, thank you for being here. Follow me on YouTube. I know Periscope doesn't really lend itself for long viewing, but come on over to YouTube or come on over to Facebook. Get it where you want it. Get it where you get it. Get it how you live it. And just thank you for tuning in. Same thing for my YouTube people as always. Dave, Superman Dave, I hope you're out there. I just want to say thank you guys once again. As you know, I've been dealing with all types of little nagging issues I've been having to overcome, which kind of threw me back on my heels a little bit. But that's when you find out who your friends are and who your friends aren't. Who's a sometime friend, who's hedging their best with you. They're kind of your friend, but really they kind of like just want to ride the good horse, ride the right horse at the right time. It's tough, man. But I want to give a shout out to Ron Placone. I talked to Ron Placone over the weekend, man. Ron Placone's a good guy. I really do sense sincerity in Ron Placone, and he's one of the good ones, guys. So get your news on with Ron Placone. Tell him Tim Black sent you. It's just my way of letting Ron know I appreciate him. And it's good to chop it up with a like-minded brother, man. So, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let me just make sure all systems are go. There's nothing worse than thinking things are well, and they're not so well. Hey, there we go. You two people in the house. There we go. You two people in the house. I see a green strip. That means it's good. And I see Mars is out there. I see Frederick Murphy's out there. Karen Mitchell. Butterfly. That's the new one. Butterfly. What's up, Butterfly? And yeah, Karen, he is really a good guy. He's a good guy, really. I met him a couple times in person too. We did a panel together, and we had a good time in person. And he's been on my show. I've been on his show multiple times. We spread the love. Yeah, guys, Facebook. Let me just check Facebook. Make sure we're all tuned in. This is the internet. Things go wrong. It's not MSNBC Studios or Fox Studios. It's Rose Wade in the house. Aloha, Rose. All right. I see you. Julia. Hey, Julia. How you doing? Sam, what's up, man? Dolores. All right, Busby. Are you me showing me love out there, Busby, man? I hope so, man. I got love for you. I got no hate in my heart. No hate in my heart whatsoever. But what I do have is uncompromising, a BS detector that just rings when people are full of it. And that's what we'll be going off tonight. We're going to all in unison, we're going to let our BS detectors go off all at one time. We're going to name names. We're going to call it out. We're going to keep it 100 because there's nothing worse than denying the truth. Right? We got too much of that going on right now. Luckily, you're tuned into the Tim Black Show. It's funded by viewers like you. So I'm able to say whatever I want to say. This is the internet. Though I may get knocked down on certain platforms, unexpectedly deplatformed or silenced, but for the most part, we just do what we want to do. We say what's real, and we don't pull punches. So tonight, I got a number of clips I want to share with you. And tonight's Brutally Honest News with Tim Black is going to be chock full of just calling out these clips, okay? So let's get started, guys. We got so many people running in the Democratic Party for the nomination. You hear the swirl just trying to keep everybody's name in your head, right? There's a lot of people. Oh, it's a lot of people running, isn't it, guys? So it's so many people running that it's okay to forget some people. But I tell you, man, I forgot this lady was running. Seriously, I totally forgot that Kirsten Gillibrand was running for president. Or should I say for the nomination to get the nomination for the Democratic Party, right? So you know what I meant, right? Like she's running to get the nomination to run for president. I almost forgot about it when names like, Buttigieg, Beto, Bernie, Biden, Kamala, Yang, Tosi, all these people running, Elizabeth Warren, all these people running, it's really easy to forget about Kirsten Gillibrand. Never mind, she's a shapeshifter. I say, basically, I think Gillibrand is whatever she needs to be, similar to some of the other people in the race. Whatever she needs to be is who she'll be. Whatever ideology she needs to compose, she's like that old saying about be formless like water and take the form of whatever vessel you pour it into. Well, when she was a Republican, she was Republican. And she believed in more conservative type ideals. When she became a Democrat, she was a middle-of-the-road Democrat. But then when it became popular to become a progressive or to label yourself a progressive, which is so obscured now, I don't even know what it means. I mean, we know we have a working definition of a few progressive tenets that we feel are good for the country. We want to see the country go to. But Kirsten kind of is like, whatever I need to be is who I'll be. So over the weekend, I don't even know when she did this Fox News town hall because she is so beneath my radar. Like, I'm one guy. I don't have time to be like tracking obscure candidates who I know are, make my BS detector go off. But here goes the clip of Kirsten Gillibrand, nonetheless, that I think we all can enjoy. And let's take a look at it.
Ron Paul likes the kind of talk you have where he says you're very...
That's my bad, y'all. I had so many clips lined up. We'll come back to Tulsi Gabbard, but let's go to Gillibrand now.
Asking you, Senator, is what is your position on late-term abortion or last trimester abortions?
Well, thank you for serving our community.
Asking you, Senator, is what is your position on late-term abortion or last trimester abortions?
Well, thank you for serving our community and helping our babies, particularly our preemies who deeply need the medical care they have. My view on women's reproductive freedom is that it should be a woman's decision to make these most intimate life and death decisions for themselves. A woman should be able to decide when she's having children, how many children she's having, and under what circumstances she's having. And what we have created, unfortunately, is a false choice and a false narrative. And Chris, I want to talk about the role that Fox News plays in this because it's a problem. I can tell you, before President Trump gave his State of the Union, Fox News talked about infanticide. Infanticide doesn't exist.
Senator, I just want to say we brought you here for an hour. We have given you, we're treating you very fairly. I understand that maybe to make your credentials with the Democrats who are not appearing on Fox News, you're going to attack us. I'm not sure it's frankly very polite when we've invited you to be here.
I will do it in a polite way, but it's to her point.
Well, I just think, why don't we, instead of talking about Fox News, why don't you answer Susan's question?
The debate about whether or not women should have reproductive freedom has turned into a red herring debate. And what happens on Fox News is relevant because they talked about infanticide for 6.5 hours. 6.5 hours, right before President Trump's State of the Union. Mentioned it 35 times. That is not the debate of what access to reproductive care is in this country. It doesn't happen. It's illegal. It's not a fact. And I believe all of us have a responsibility to talk about the facts. The facts are that women in this country have had a constitutional right for over 30 years to make this fundamental life and death decision. And this president has emboldened legislatures in 30 states to begin to criminalize that decision. Criminalize the decision of whether or not and when you want to have your children. Criminalizing the doctors with a 99-year sentence if they are offering abortion services and providing the care that women need. Why should male legislatures across this country decide when you're having children, how many your children are having, and under what circumstances? I don't understand it. It's a human right. It's about having bodily autonomy. It's about being able to control your physical self. It's undermining every human right, civil right that we could have. So let women make these most personal decisions. For many people, it's a moral decision. For many people, it's a medical decision. So why can't they make it with their doctor, with their families, with their husband, based on their own faith, how they believe and what they feel? It is that woman's right.
All right, okay. Chris Wallace wasn't going for it at all, was he? Now, Chris Wallace decided, you know what, we're not going to let you just go ahead and beat up on the network that's giving you a platform. We're going to go ahead and cut you off at the pass. And, you know, I guess I get his point. You know, that's not what the lady asked her. The lady, you know, the question that was asked her was about this thing, you know, about late-term abortion. And I'm not even sure if she really answered that question, how she felt about it. I mean, I think you just got to be able to go into the lion's den and just state truthfully, honestly, how you feel, and don't care about the repercussions. But see, then again, I'm not a politician, so I don't have to hedge bets. I just say, hey, look, you know what? Women get to choose what they want to do. I personally don't think you should be getting abortions late term. Or if you think it's fine, then you should say it. But whatever your stance on it, just be a woman up, a man up, a person up, gender up, or whatever's the thing you need to say nowadays. So, Kirsten Gillibrand, hey, like I said, yeah, you know, Chris Wallace kind of hit her with a gut punch. But overall, when I listen to what she said, besides the fact she sort of like lost her footing, I kind of agree. I mean, I do agree with her. I agree that she's right on policy. Like, you know, I don't think the state should be deciding, you know, to take away women's right to choose what they want to do. Okay? I think those decisions are made between the man, the person. Hopefully, those decisions are made as a couple. They're made together, long contemplation about where we want our futures to be, or the health of the mother, with a doctor, physician, what the health of the mother is, all that good stuff. But, you know, not even going too far down that road, I agree with her on the policy. What I don't think Gillibrand gets is delivery. People got to like the way you deliver a message. And throughout her whole Sermon on the Mount, she was just yelling at people. Now, I do my share of yelling, but I'd like to mix it up with a few jokes. I like to mix it up with a little folksiness, down home, you know, just regular talk, or some, you know, a little bit of just laid back around the way type talk, like what's keeping it real with who I am and who I truly aim to be, and the people that I want to resonate with. I don't just come out and just yell about a speech, you know. So I think that's part of the reason why Gillibrand's not really polling above 0. I mean, every poll I've looked at, 0. And they're not like shutting her out of conversation. I mean, they're shutting Tulsi Gabbard out of conversations. They're smearing Tulsi Gabbard when they get an opportunity. They smear the hell out of Bernie Sanders when they get an opportunity. No one really smears Gillibrand. She's her own smear. You know, all you got to do is like let her be her, and she's so milquetoast. It's like, I mean, anytime Amy Klobuchar can steal your shine. I mean, if Amy Klobuchar upstages you, you got problems. Well, what really is the reason why Gillibrand's even in the Senate? How'd she pull it off? Right? I don't know. Where's she from, man? I don't know much about her, man. I'm going to just keep it real. What state is she in? Does anyone, what state is she in? Wolfpack, tell me, what state is she in? I don't know, man. But I'm just totally disinterested in it. I think voters are too. In fact, there at the town hall, I saw something I usually don't see. I saw people literally laughing at her. If you watch closely at that clip, I'm not going to rewind it now, but there are people literally laughing at her, snickering at her. There are women looking at her like she's crazy. So it's sort of like the reason why I believe Elizabeth Warren didn't want to do a town hall on Fox, right? She made it seem like, I don't want to do it because they're a horrible network and they're garbage and they false news, fake news, or false narratives and bigoted and they're the home of Nazis or whatever, right? She said that, but I think what it was, she was afraid she'd get a moment like Kirsten Gillibrand. But Kirsten Gillibrand, a person who's got no news, who I have not covered since she initially launched her campaign. And I do this stuff like basically pro bono. Like, I don't have an agenda. I just cover what's going on. I mean, you know I like Tulsi. You know I like Bernie. You know I've interviewed Andrew Yang, and I like a lot of stuff about his policies, about what he's trying to do. I like the backstory of him meeting with people, real people in the real world, not being a politician and kind of going, like, I think we need to make some changes. But I haven't talked about Gillibrand since she launched her campaign. So this is the first news cycle I think she's gotten in months. And people have been donating, giving her money. Now, I don't know if she's qualified for the debates. But man, if she can qualify for the debates, anybody can qualify. Like, I don't understand, like, there's nothing there, okay? There's nothing there. So I just don't know. I mean, if that isn't, middle-aged white lady privilege, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it isn't blonde hair. I don't know. Like, how is she, like, even, like Elizabeth Warren, smart lady, right? Little flighty, says things like, you betcha, and guy betcha golly, and, stuff. I don't even know what world she lives in, what time zone, what planet she's on sometimes, but no one will take away the fact that she is smart and she knows policy, or that she has policies and she has a way of presenting that is, deliberate, detailed, and then you look at Bernie. Well, Bernie stood for something, pretty much the same policies for 30, 40 years. Andrew Yang, refreshing policy, the freedom dividend, something we haven't heard of before. Tulsi Gabbard, our strongest peace candidate, bar none. So that other candidates have things to hang their hat on. What does Gillibrand have to hang her hat on? I mean, I'm just saying, man, I'll wait as long as, and just to show how desperate Gillibrand is, when Chris Wallace called her, he said, you're impolite or not polite. Do you know right after that segment, she went and updated her Twitter? She went and updated her Twitter as something. At the end, she put, not very polite. Because that's all she's got. Now, guys, I have a Twitter account. I've been on a lot of shows, Jimmy Dore's show, Kyle Kalinski's show, Lee Camp's show, like multiple shows, and RT, and I've been a lot of places. I've been on a lot of shows over the last 5-6 years, right? But I've never felt like after I got off a show, I needed to update my Twitter handle to show that I was on that show, or like you know what I mean? Like, that show is, I don't know. It just shows desperation, is all I'm saying. Gillibrand is desperate for a fucking news cycle, and she needs it so badly, but at the end of the day, it won't help her because she's running to expose more people to her brand. She's not running to be president. She can't be. She just can't be. All right, that's it. That's all I got on Gillibrand. We got a couple other stories, or several other stories. Let's see if we can get to those. How about we go back to the story that I thought we were, well, let's go to Tulsi Gabbard. All right, because I haven't talked about Tulsi lately. I know she's in California right now, California Democratic convention thing that's going on there. I saw her there speaking. And then I saw a clip that she did when she went on Fox News. And why is it that people get on Fox News? They go on Fox News. It seems like Fox News gives certain candidates more love than MSNBC or CNN. And I ask that rhetorically. But I also ask it for the people who are new to this channel who may not have heard about this. See, sometimes we get in our bubble so much, we don't even take time to explain. We don't realize there are new people coming in all the time who don't know this stuff. So, for the new people who are coming in, people who just got here 2 seconds ago, who are brand new to this, and they're like, what's going on? I'm checking out independent media, and you don't understand that when you're a candidate that's not about donors, big donors, special interest groups like the NRA or lobbyist organizations, like if you're not a slave, a conduit, a paid spokesperson for big pharmaceuticals, the Wall Street, the banks, the gun, if you're not a piece of crap scumbag like Puppet, right, with their hand up your back or up your butt cheeks, like making you talk, like if you're not one of those people, it's really hard for you to go and get any airplay on like an MSNBC or CNN, right? Because they don't like you. Now, especially if you're against like war, our military industrial complex, the MIC. If you're not a part of, if you're against us going to other countries like Iran and bombing them, if you're against interventions or helping the Saudis destroy Yemen, if you're against these type of regime change where we install leaders, if you're against any of that, they don't really want you on CNN. And if they do let you come on MSNBC or CNN, they give you a very hard time and they smear you. So, Tulsi Gabbard, once again, was on Fox News, which seems like the only place where she really gets an opportunity to talk unless she's on independent media. Okay? So I have a clip I want to play for you of Tulsi Gabbard on Fox News, breaking it down once again.
Ron Paul likes the kind of talk you have where he says you're very tough on foreign policy, but he doesn't. Ron Paul likes the kind of talk you have where he says you're very tough on foreign policy, but he doesn't like some of your economic views, that you might be a spender or that you might be, I'm paraphrasing here, a typical Democrat. And that unnerves some who think that you'll just parrot whatever the line is of the party right now, you say?
Well, look, you can look at my history. We've just talked about how I don't parrot anyone else's line. My focus, my mission is on serving the American people. And as President and Commander-in-Chief, I will bring a different kind of leadership than what we've seen in the past. Yes, on foreign policy, this has been a great focus of mine because it's important to recognize we cannot separate foreign policy from domestic policy. Because we've seen how since 9/11 alone, we've spent trillions of dollars on these wasteful regime change wars.
Gabbard? Would that stop?
That would end under President Gabbard.
You know, after I was just saying how great it was that Tulsi can go on like Fox News and they allow her to talk and it's not a bunch of smears. Here we go. Here we go right there with a smear. But I like the way Tulsi rebounded from it. And look, anybody who knows Tulsi Gabbard's record, what she's done over the last, ever since, like, I don't know, at least 2015, they'll know, like, she's not establishment. In fact, she's an anti-establishment Democrat, one of the few most prolific anti-establishment Democrats. And you know what? Just on the sheer fact that Tulsi Gabbard is anti-war, to me says it all, right? But then she went a step further and did not support Hillary Clinton, stepped down from the DNC, supported Bernie publicly. Ron Paul, what are you talking about, dude? Like, how can you say she's going to parrot something? Maybe that's not even Ron Paul's words. I don't even think that's Ron Paul. I think that's that guy. I don't even know that guy. Phil Hemmer. I don't know what's his name. Who's that guy? I don't know who the Fox News host, what his name is. I know he's been there for a long time. I've seen him before. The point is, for him to insinuate via a statement from Ron Paul that this is anywhere near reality when you know you're looking at a member of Congress who has thrown caution to the wind at great risk of losing her own seat to do it. Like, it was very unfavorable for her to support Bernie. I don't know if you know it or not, but supporting Bernie is I wouldn't call it a foreign policy issue. That's a domestic issue to the highest degree. That's for the future of the world. That's for the future of the United States on a micro level. On a macro level, it's for the whole world, right? She did that. For you to insinuate, accuse, make a blatantly false statement that she totes the line, she parrots, that she's the least, look, you may be able to criticize her for stuff, I don't know, like once upon a time, she felt this way, now she doesn't, like, okay, cool, okay. You go back 8 years, right, when a person had no power and they were new to politics and they felt a certain way, okay, fine. But really, you got nothing on her, like in the last 6 years since she's been in office. I think it's 6 years. At least as a congressperson, I think it's been about 6 years. The point is this, man. And I don't want to come down too hard on Ron Paul because I'm not sure if he was taken out of context. I would like to think he was taken out of context. Look, if you disagree with the policies, fine. You don't think we deserve Medicare for all. People shouldn't look for Medicare for all. You know, Paul's a libertarian guy. He's conservative to a large extent. Maybe he doesn't agree with everyone getting health care. Okay, fine. Maybe he doesn't agree that we should stop saddling our kids with all this debt. And just like when we had back in the day when there was people make the mistake of believing there was always K through 12. There wasn't always K through 12. There was free education provided. Okay? That's something we got for fighting for it. But maybe Ron Paul believes that all the kids who are broke or kids in bad neighborhoods or kids one single-parent households or maybe a parent died or maybe they're being raised by grandparents or whatever the financial situation is, who can't afford to go to a college, who makes a decision. I know people personally who had all the aptitude in the world to go to college. They just didn't have the money and they were afraid, well, what if I get out, I can't find a job and I got all this debt. I can't do that to my parents. Let me just take a trade doing something I really don't want to do, but I got to do it because I just need a job right now, and I don't have the money to go to school. Like, maybe Ron doesn't think those kids, those young people, and older people, whoever they are, doesn't deserve in the richest country in the world that's ever existed to be able to go to school without going $20,000 in debt, okay? Maybe he thinks that. I disagree with him, but that's okay if you disagree with her. It's okay if you disagree with that. Maybe Ron Paul doesn't think mass incarceration is the problem. Maybe he thinks it's okay to have private prisons filled to the rafters with black and brown people. Maybe he thinks that's okay that we have structural institutional racism that puts a certain group of people socioeconomically challenged in positions where they're dealing with poverty from generational poverty. We're never given a fair shake in this country. People that were slaves for 4 and 5 generations, released into the world with no education, no land, no loans, no nothing, and then, and locked up in 100 years of Jim Crow, segregation, black codes, all this crap to put them back in prison using the 13th Amendment, which makes them slaves all over again because they're now incarcerated with no rights to vote, no rights to access, even when they get out. No access to housing, no access to health care, no access to voting rights, no access to all these things. Maybe Ron has a problem with that. He doesn't see any problem with the people that are underclass who get pushed through that system. Maybe he never watched a Netflix special and learned about the Central Park Five and how that's not just a one-off situation, that people get railroaded into our prison system every day. Now, you may disagree with Tulsi Gabbard for standing up for those people, but don't say she's parroting it. Parroting it, the implication is that you don't believe it. When you say you parrot something, you just repeat it. A parrot doesn't think when it says your name back to you. It just says it. Because it heard it, it says it. I think the implication that Tulsi Gabbard doesn't truly believe that we need to end mass incarceration, that we need to end structural racism, that we need to end interventionist wars, that we need to end people dying because they can't go to the doctor because they don't have the co-payment, so they put it off until when they go it's too late and now they have a shortened lifespan. That's real stuff. Now, that may be parroting Democrat talking points to a jackass like this Fox News host or to Ron Paul, but to me it's not. Tulsi Gabbard is a unique individual. You may disagree with her policies, but they are her policies. And I do not believe a person who would stand up and say, I'm not voting for Hillary Clinton, and go a step further and say, I'm stepping down, and then go a step further and say, I'm supporting Bernie Sanders, and I don't care what it costs me, knowing that they were going to try to run people at her to get her out of her congressional office seat when she was once a darling of the Democrats. Rising star. I don't think you can call that person parroting. Just call them with a different mindset. But don't call her a parrot, because she's not a parrot, and it's disingenuous as hell to insinuate that. Tulsi Gabbard, very composed, very much under control at all times, very measured in her approaches, her responses. I think it's fine sometimes, though, Tulsi Gabbard, my friend, to lay into that ass and let them know what time it is. Because for them to insinuate that to you, about you, is a humongous slight. And it's okay. I think, Tulsi, you turn up the heat on their asses sometime. They need to hear it. Sometimes you got to be brutally honest. I know it's good when you're measured, and I know women get a different scale. If women start yelling or getting angry or forceful, they say you're out of control, you're erratic. I know women have it. I understand that it's really easy for men to look at women when they show emotion and say, oh, can't have her. She'll push the nuclear bombs. As if there's any more erratic than Donald Trump. But I think you would be well served, sister, to let it out. Let the chips fall where they may. Especially when somebody makes an insinuation, makes an accusation that you are not genuine. All right. Going to the next one. Oh, man, we getting pumped up. Welcome back to the Tim Black Show. Huh? Welcome back. We back up in here, ain't we? We awake now. Everybody woke? Huh? Oh, I'm feeling good now. All right. So we got a couple other stories. All right, so look, guys, how the hell is Tim Black able to come up here and speak so boldly and talk to candidates like they're his cousin and just call out people like the Fox News guy called a hack? Well, because Tim Black Show is funded by people like you. I ain't funded by no DNC. I ain't funded by no GOP. I just do me, baby. Just me. And the people that support the show are people who watch the show, who value the show. So go to patreon.com, Tim Steak Live, become a member of my wolf pack. My wolf pack got my back. As long as I got my wolf pack, I'm going to be all right, because that's where the people are. It's people powered, not establishment powered. Hootie hoo. All right. Hey, man, I should just get love on the Hootie hoo reference alone. All right, so anyway. Aquaman all right? All right, anyway. Andre 3000, big boy. So now, let's go to now. I got clips, man. I got more clips than the clips. Let's go. We got another clip. We got, let's go to Andrew Yang, all right? Dark horse running in the Democratic nomination. Out of left field, guy comes up with this new policy. UBI